Hi guys, I'm Sebastian. This is my session 7 demo. I'll show a systematic asset allocation and rebalancing workflow for a $1 million moderate risk portfolio. I'll run the Python code live with you, explain how it calculates drift and trades, and compare threshold banded rebalancing versus full rebalancing with costs. Okay, so let's go to the code. So what is our goal? Our goal is to start with a 100K moderate policy, 40% US stocks, 20% international stocks, 30% bonds, and 10% real estate. Apply a Q1 2024 scenario, stocks 50%, US and Intel, bonds minus 3%, and REITs plus 8%. We'll compute current weights versus targets, drift, and cost-aware rebalancing trades, and compare threshold banded rebalancing, more or less 5% versus full to target. So, um, first, let's go through the code. Here you can see the strategic policy weights, the Q1 scenario, rebalancing rules and cost model, the bandwidth min trade, fixed cost per trade, and PCT cost. Then you can see the dollars from weights, the weights from dollars, applied returns, compute drift, clamp to bands, and building the trade table. So there's exactly a $1 million split by the policy weights. Um, Nothing fancy here. This is just the uh, yeah. Um, so here you're gonna see what the main demo, the initial portfolio after Q1, and the threshold banded rebalancing, then the full to target rebalancing, and then it's going to be the banded trades are going to be saved. So let's run the code together. Okay, perfect. Mm, mm, mm. Okay, so as you can see, everything seems all right. Let's go through everything. So for the initial portfolio, the target was zero point 0.4. The initial was 400,000 for US stocks. For international stocks, it was 20%. It was 200,000. For the bonds, it was 30%, 300,000. For real estate, it was 10%, 100,000. So after Q1, US stocks Q1 return was 15%. Now we have 460 grand. The current WT is 42%. For international stocks, the current return was 15%. So now we have 230 grand, and the current weight is 21%. For bonds, we lost 3%. The current WD is 26%, leaving us a current of 291,000. And for real estate is 8%, 108,000. Current WD is of 9.9%. So our portfolio value now after Q1 is 1,089,000. Um, so the rebalancing, the threshold, plus or more or less 5%. Here we can see target weight, current weight, drift, PP, current amount, desired WT, desired amount, trade, and trade action. So for US stocks, as I mentioned, 4% international stocks, 2% bonds, 3%, and real estate 0.1%. As you guys can see, the tickets were zero, turnover zero, 0%, cost zero. So the rebalancing full to target, um, you'll see how it changes and the comparison. So the tickets now are three, turnover is 73 grand, so it's around 6.7%, and cost is about $103. So we basically force the portfolio back to targets. Um, one sells 24 thousand four hundred dollars of US and $12,000, around 12,000 of international stocks, by 36 grand of bonds, and real estate is essentially on target, as we can see here. So what are the recommendations or rationale? So, given the results, my recommendation is to not rebalance this quarter under the more or less 5% threshold policy. Um, we are going to preserve the policy intent, avoid unnecessary trading, and keep costs at zero. Mm. If the next quarter pushes any sleeve outside the plus or more or less 5% band, the system will trade back to the nearest band edge. Not necessarily all the way to the target, balancing discipline with cost efficiency. This shows the core of the session 7 idea. Strategic allocation drives outcomes, and systematic rebalancing preserves the allocation while avoiding emotional trades. So, wrapping up, we validate current versus target, measure drift, compare bonded versus full rebalancing with costs. For this moderate risk client, the data supports not trading this quarter. In my future work, I'll talk more about various other topics, not other topics, but try to do a different approach. Maybe I would like to use a tax aware logic. That would be good. So this was it for my session 7. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in session 8.